Hey guys, so for today I finally have my favorite brushes video for you guys. A bunch of you guys have been requesting this and I'm honestly like a makeup brush junkie. I never thought I would be, but it is just getting out of control. I honestly feel like makeup brushes are one of the most important steps in anyone's kind of routine. You want to make sure you have the perfect tools for the job. I do want to start off by saying this video is not sponsored by anyone in any way, shape, or form. This is just me showing you guys what my favorite brushes are. You guys probably will hear me talking a lot about Sigma just because Sigma is personally my all-time favorite makeup brush brand. I am affiliated with them, but before I was ever even affiliated with them, I purchased all my own brushes from them. I loved them. Personally, for me, if I'm going to recommend one place to get every single brush that you might need, it would be Sigma, because I love a lot of different brushes from different brands. Like, you'll see I have such a variety here, but when it comes to if I had to choose one brand that would have every brush that I would need, it would be Sigma. Whereas some of these other brands don't have every brush that I would desire and need. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start out with the face and then work on to the eyes, which is going to be crazy, but let's just go ahead and get started. So first, when it comes to foundation, I might as well just get it over with because you guys already know what I'm going to mention, and it is my holy grail Sigma Flat Top Kabuki F80. No matter what other foundation brush that I try, I always go back to this. Like, I always go back. I might love something else, but I'll always go back to the Sigma F80. It applies flawlessly, blends it out for you, does the job. It's big enough so that it's quick enough. Like, you're not sitting there like tiny little... Because I find that some of them can be very small, but this flat top kabuki is like a medium size. So I just totally realized I had lipstick on my teeth. So I'm so sorry if I had lipstick on my teeth that entire time. But anyways, let's move on. So I find that it's big enough so that I can kind of work around quickly with it. It's not going to take me forever. But it's small enough so that I can still get into certain areas, you know what I mean? So I definitely recommend this one, all-time favorite. The next one is another flat top kabuki, and this is by Morphe. This is the G6 brush. If the F80 didn't exist, then this would be my all-time favorite foundation brush of life. It is amazing. It is smaller than the F80, which I don't like because it does take me longer, but in a sense, it does get into little areas. I actually can use this for concealer as well. I love that this is even denser than the F80. I find that this works the best with very thick foundations because I find that it helps to spread them out very nicely so that it doesn't get cakey. But I do find that I don't like this with dewy foundations at all. I also find that you need less product with this brush. For some reason, it really helps to blend everything out and make the most of what you have. Next is actually a recent find of mine, and this is the Tarte Amazonian Flawless Finish foundation brush or something like that. This is amazing. I have been wanting this baby in my hands for like 2 years now, and I finally got to try it like 2 weeks ago, and it is one of my favorite foundation brushes ever. This just is so dense, and it really just buffs out any foundation super quickly. Like, I love to use this when I'm in a rush because it's so big and it can just get everywhere really quickly, all over your neck and everything, and I love this brush so much, and the packaging of it is so cute. I like to just display this on my vanity, and it's just, I love that one. So next, when it comes to concealer, I have an all-time favorite concealer brush, and this is the Morphe G2. I love this. It's so short and chubby, but still has that tapered tip so that it quickly blends out the concealer because it's big enough, but it still is more precise enough. So I really love this one. One of my all-time favorite. Like, I pretty much use this one every single day. So next, when it comes to setting my concealer, there is one brush that I cannot stay away from. No matter what other setting brush that I use, I always go back to this one, and this is the Sigma F05 small contour brush. It is absolutely amazing. It's just dense enough to really pack on the product so that I get very minimal creasing, but it's loose enough so that it's not like too dense, because you wouldn't really want that with powder, and it's just the perfect size. You can also actually use this for contouring, and it really gives you a very precise contour. So I know a lot of people do that, like Jaclyn Hill does that. So next is setting the face, and there's one powder brush that I just always go back to. So this is the Sigma Large Powder F20 brush. It's dense enough to really pack on some powder, but it's loose enough to not do it too much. So next, when it comes to the infamous bronzing and contouring, I have one bronzing brush that I literally cannot live without. I actually used to love it so much, but I don't know, I kind of just took a break from it, and then I recently found it again in my collection, and I was like, let me give this a try, and I've fallen back in love with it. It is the Stipple Brush by Spa Resource from Walmart. Sigma sells one of these as well, and a lot of different brands do, and they're pretty much all the same. They're just like a dual fiber brush where it's kind of dense over here, but then on the top there's very minimal like hair, and what that does is it packs on the product, but this part blends out the product as it's packing it on. So it does 2-in-1 type of job. That's why I love these dual fiber type of brushes. So next, when it comes to contouring and all of that stuff, I have one brush that is pretty much my go-to, my favorite brush, and that is the NARS Ita brush. I did kind of touch on this brush a little bit in my products I regret buying video, just because I felt like this brush was super expensive, and it actually does shed a little bit. So I kind of mentioned how I was pretty disappointed that it's so pricey and it sheds so much. So I definitely don't recommend buying it unless you're like ballin', because, and I'm definitely not ballin', by the way. Like I said, I kind of regretted getting it. But if you're like ballin', then you can definitely afford to get this. But if you're like saving for this brush, then I definitely don't think it's worth it, just because it does shed a little bit. But I have heard that some people's shed and some people's don't, so I don't really know. But nonetheless, like regardless of that, I'm willing to deal with it because this is the absolute most perfect contour brush. I tried to use some other contour brushes that I have in my collection, but for some reason I always go back to this one. So next, I love the RC Cosmetics kind of tapered dual fiber brush. This stuff is perfect for contouring as well. Absolutely awesome. Like I said, these dual fiber brushes just really help to apply the product but blend it out perfectly at the same time. And I just really love it because it's tapered, so it does give you that perfect contour as well. Another brush that I really love for contouring is the Sigma Large Angled Contour F80. I love this one. Personally, I feel like it's just one of the easiest contour brushes ever. When I'm in a rush, it's just super easy just to go like that, and it just gives you a blended but still very nice contour. Next, when it comes to blush, there is my one and only brush that I love. No matter what other one I use, I always go back to it. High end, no matter what, I always use my Jessup powder slash blush brush. It is just like the perfect size for blush, but it's tapered. Like, I don't know if you guys can really tell, but it's like an oval tapered shape, so it's not going to give me too thick of a blush, because personally for me, I don't like too much blush. The quality is awesome as well. If you're not familiar with Jessup, Jessup is actually a brand that you can get off eBay, and it's like 10 bucks for like a set of 10 or 15 brushes, so it's super cheap. I think it's like $1 if you really divide it. So cheap. I have a bunch of reviews on them. Any related video, I'll link it down below for you guys. So next is for highlighting. When it comes to highlighting, guys, honestly, I've tried other brushes, I've tried dupes, but nothing compares, like nothing compares to the Sigma Tapered Highlighting F35 brush. This brush is absolutely holy grail. It's the perfect shape. I've tried other ones that try to mimic this shape, but it's just not as perfect. So that is it for face brushes. So onto the eye brushes. One of the brushes that I absolutely recommend is just the #1 brush that you need, like holy grail #1 brush, and this is the Sigma E40 brush. It really just, it's like an overall blending brush. So at the end of your eye makeup, you want to just go over with this just to make sure all those lines are completely blended, and this is just going to blend everything out absolutely flawlessly because it's so nice and big and puffy and fluffy. This is also really good for smoky looks. So if you just want to like dust some really pretty brown into the crease and just do it super smoky, this is going to be awesome for that. Next, I want to mention the Sigma Small Tapered E45. I love this brush for kind of precise crease work. It's really awesome just because it gets in there but it blends at the same time. It kind of almost does like a soft cut crease look. It does have like a slight tapered end to it too, so you can kind of get in the inner corner without getting too messy, and I really do like it. So since we're on the topic of precise crease work, one of my favorite all-time brushes that I honestly didn't think I would use as much as I really do is the Sigma E36 blending brush. Basically a blending brush but very tapered, and it kind of fluffs out at the end. This is perfect for soft cut creases. It's actually what I use today to really just put product right in here. It's gonna blend it out but give you a very soft, kind of harsh cut crease type of look. I also love this for fluffing on some shadow on the lower lash line when I want a really nice smoky look. So next I want to mention, I have a lot of the same types of brushes, by the way. which I'm about to show you next. Because I basically have the same type of brush in different brands, like the dupe versions of the Sigma ones, but they all are very different to me, so I want to mention to you guys which ones are kind of my favorite. So next I have these really nice like fluffy crease brushes that are awesome because they're not too fluffy like the E40 where they're going to blend out too much, but they're not going to be harsh. They're going to apply any crease shade very nicely without it being too smoky like the E40 would be. I have the Sigma E35, which pretty much is the same as the Jessup tapered blending one. So both of these I really love, and they both work very well for the same purpose. Next I have the Morphe E41. I personally just find that this one is a little bit more a little bit slimmer and then a little bit tapered at the end, which I really, really love. And then I also love the Zoeva 228 Luxe Crease Brush. This brush is so different than the other ones I just showed you because it is slimmer and it really comes to a tapered end. If you can see that right there, it just has this very like edgy kind of tapered edge to it, which allows you to apply product so precisely but blend it afterwards with the same brush. I almost feel like this is two brushes in one, which is super weird. So it's actually very different than a lot of the other ones that I own, and it actually stands out a lot to me. I love that one. So another brush that I really like is, again, like I have 4 of the same one, but they're different brands and kind of slightly different. So basically, one of them that's basically my favorite out of all of them is the Sigma E25. I love this brush. It is so like small and tapered, but then it kind of fluffs out at the end, and this is perfect for outer V colors or really any kind of precise crease work without being too precise. I really love the Sigma blending one, which is pretty much the exact same shape. It's just a little bit bigger. So I love this one when I don't necessarily want that much of a precise application. I just kind of put it in there and it gives me a quicker, less precise application. Next I have the Zoeva 227 brush. This one is just a little longer and a little less shaped, like it's a little straighter. I like this one because it does give me more of a precise application. I actually find that these Zoeva brushes are very good quality as well. Next, I've really been liking the Morphe 433 brush, which is basically almost the same as the Sigma one, except it has less hairs. So it's a little thinner and not as like, just doesn't have as much hairs. But this one's really nice for extremely precise. Like, because it's slimmer, it allows you to get a little bit more of a precise line. So next I have 3 of the same brushes. I basically just love all of them because they're literally identical. They're just like these really nice kind of pencil brushes. These are very nice for cut creases, but they're also very nice for the lower lash line, which is what I use them for. Next I have some eyeshadow application type of brushes. Like, those ones are more blending brushes. One of my favorite brushes to just apply like any just regular basic all over eyeshadow brush, the Sigma E57 Firm Shader. This one is just really awesome. It's kind of dense enough and small enough to just pack on some eyeshadow product, and I really, really like this one. It's just a basic, perfect eyeshadow brush. I do also really like the e.l.f. eyeshadow brushes. I actually get mine from Dollarama. These are really great, just basic eyeshadow brushes, and they cost like $1, and they're really, really nice. I've been using them for years, and I really like them. Next, I have 2 of my favorite eyeshadow brushes to show you guys that are awesome for really precise lid application, like, for example, glitters or pigments and things like that. I love these 2. This one is the G10 brush, which is just a little bit bigger, and then this one is the G20 brush, and it's just a little bit smaller, but they're pretty much the same, just a bigger version and a smaller version. So next I have my all-time favorite brow bone and tear duct brush ever, and it is from Walmart. I think it's like $3, and this is from the brand Stila. This one's called the Concealer 007 brush, and it just looks like this, and I don't know, it's just the perfect shape to apply brow bone and inner tear duct colors. Next I have this brush from Jessup. It is the Jessup concealer brush. This one is very thin and precise. I love this one personally for the brows. After I'm done doing my brows, if I actually messed up a tiny bit and kind of went outside the line a little bit, I'll just go ahead with this one, wipe it away, and it just picks up the product and wipes it right away without smudging it. Next and last, I have my all-time favorite brow brush to show you guys, and this is the Anastasia number 12 brush. I absolutely love it. I do my brows with this every single day, and I can never use another brow brush ever. Like, it's just awesome. It just is so precise and small enough, but not too small, and then it has the perfect doe foot applicator at the back. I never thought that a doe doe foot. That's not even a doe foot, that's a spoolie. I never thought that a spoolie could be good, like different. I thought they would all be the same, but no, this is like the best spoolie of life for some reason. So that is pretty much it in terms of my favorite makeup brushes. I know this video was probably super long, but I really wanted to go through all of the ones that I like. If you have any other video requests, then please make sure to leave them down below, and I of course always just get them out there for you guys. Like I said, this video wasn't sponsored by anyone at all. You guys know I always keep it real and give you guys my 100% opinion, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a like, thumbs up, and I'll of course see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah. So for today, I obviously have no makeup, and that is because we are going to be doing a talk through in-depth tutorial on how to avoid cake face. So I actually brought